understood that.
Now, let's be very honest here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead. I don't usually do this, but let me give a warning to anyone in here that's sensitive or black or whatever. I mean, you should know better watching my streams anyway, but I guarantee you got a bunch of new niggas in here that don't know how I deliver messages. So I'm going to give you guys a fair warning right now that if you are offended when people are critical of the black community, you might want to walk away from your TV right now, turn off your YouTube, go watch Tariq Nasheed or some shit like that. I don't know. But if you get offended, you might want to turn off this shit right now, okay? Because what I'm going to say right now is going to be painfully true. It's going to be offensive, and a lot of you are going to get offended. But I'm going to say it anyway. There's your disclaimer, okay? So you got 5 seconds. Come back in like 30 minutes and we'll cover the shooter from Afghanistan, all right? And Dave Rubin getting absolutely owned by Pierce. This right here is precisely the problem with the black community, okay? The black community has an inherent, stubborn problem, okay? If you tell them the uncomfortable truth about the realities of their behaviors, they will call you a sellout. They will call you an Uncle Tom. They'll call you, they will label you as you hate your own skin. You hate your own people, right? And they don't like to be held accountable for anything, right? And not only do they not like to be held accountable for everything, they don't like to be held accountable to the point where they will go ahead and create different sects within the black community to create what I call plausible deniability for niggardry, okay? The biggest threat to the black community is organized niggardry. Now you might be wondering, Myron, what is organized niggardry? I'll tell you. Organized niggardry is the concept of taking zero accountability for self-inflicted wounds and problems. What do I mean by this? Well, blacks represent somewhere between 13 to 15% of the population. Black men are roughly half of that, about 6%. But they account for damn near half of the violent crimes in America. Contrary to popular belief, the police don't kill black people as much as they say, okay? These are fringe stats that happen very rarely. It's just that they're blown up in the media to stir controversy because there's nothing easier than pushing out culture wars when it comes to views. That divisiveness creates views. And we know who owns the news agencies. But this isn't a talk on the voice. The reality is that when young black men die, the number one killer of young black men are other black men. And this is kind of what it is in general. Most people get killed in a race. Now, not only do we have this lack of accountability, right? So criticism can't come in. They insulate themselves in certain types of ways with this organized niggardry. I'll give you an example. One of the strategies they use, someone like a Tariq Nasheed, who's a by the way, will say something like, you are a tether. What is a tether? A tether is a black person in America who has Caribbean and or African roots and don't have lineage tied to a slave, whatever. In their eyes, they look at it like, you can't criticize us or say anything about us because we built up America through the colonization period alongside the whites. Fair argument. Cool. You've been here for many generations. You feel as though you've earned a certain regard and respect in this country. Fine. I'm not disputing that. But here's the problem. They get angry if a tether or if anyone criticizes them. And to take it a step further, even if you're an FBA and you criticize them, they're still going to come after you. It's like they're adding layers of plausible deniability of accountability. Oh, you're criticizing us, you're white, shut up. Oh, you're criticizing us, you're Asian, shut up. Oh, you criticizing us, you're Indian, who cares?
Thank you, come again.
You know? So when these criticisms come, these niggas are like a Neo. Dodging all over the place, bro. It's like you're throwing job applications at them. Shit, okay, right? Niggas turn into Mike Tyson all of a sudden. We start throwing the job applications. That's what they do. So no one can criticize them. Now, if you're someone like a Mike Epps and you say something that's real, hey, bro, it ain't cool to go to jail, and it's definitely not cool to celebrate coming out of jail. Instead of people applauding him and saying, yeah, that's right, coming out of jail is not cool, what do? They give him backlash. Oh, who you think you is, cuz? You nigga. The black community is the only community that sits there and says, I did my time, cuz I ain't snitch. I got 30 because I ain't say nothing. What? It's the only group of people that literally pedestalize being a criminal. Mexican niggas too sometimes. But you can roast them and not have to worry about nothing. But these guys, they lose their minds. And this is the problem in the black community. Organized niggatry allows for them to basically continue with almost no accountability. And if you try to give them accountability, they either call you a racist, a tether, you ain't a part of the culture. They use some type of language to deflect responsibility and or make it where you're not an adequate critic. So in other words, you need to be an FBA ability and or make it where you're not an adequate critic. So in other words, you need to be an FBA to criticize us. And then if you do prove that you're an FBA, they still don't care. And they're going to talk shit regardless. So in other words, these niggas never want to be held accountable for anything. And they put many safeguards in place so that you can't hold them accountable. And this is why the black community continues to take L's. They can't take criticism, okay? And let's keep it 1,000. Let's go even further. White people are going to tell y'all shit because they don't want to be called a racist. Asians are going to tell y'all shit because they don't want to be called a racist. No one wants to be canceled and or feel the wrath of being called, are you racist? They don't want to deal with that bullshit. They just shut the hell up and avoid y'all niggas. There's a reason why black fatigue is real. It is real right now. Okay? Because for a very long time, nobody said shit. Now people are annoyed. I've been talking about this shit for years. Let's be honest. It's been like, what, 4 or 5 years now at this point? Niggas have been trying to cancel me. They hate me more than you guys because I look like them. Even though they say I'm not one of them, but who gives a f? I don't care. So this is where we are. This is the backward society that the black community has created. And it's interesting too, because during the Jim Crow era, when segregation was at its highest, when blacks had the fewest opportunities, guess what? They thrived. So even under the most oppressive era in modern American history, blacks did better. You want to know why? Because the family stuck together. We didn't have fatherless households. We had blacks that stuck together, that had communities, that built up stores, built up an infrastructure, and they did better in the 1960s with harsher conditions. Fast forward to 2025, they have more rights than ever before. They have more access than they've ever had before. They cry about reparations even though they get affirmative action and a bunch of different federal and state benefits that people of other groups cannot get, yet they're still some of the worst performing. I wonder why. I'll tell you why. Because the state isn't your daddy.